I got the niche espresso grinder, or just a grinder. It's conical burrs, super hard to get because it takes forever to get from, I think, the UK. Then I got a decent espresso machine. This is the 1.4 model I've had for about, I don't know, 4 or 5 months. And yeah, I just kind of want to show you what it looks like, kind of like my whole routine, my whole setup here. So yeah, basically everything, I try to put everything in this huge drawer. So this includes things like, I made a homemade WD-T tool right here. These are little acupuncture needles, and I just kind of drilled them in, then I put some glue over them. So this kind of distributes the beans a little better. And I have a little atomizer, a little spray bottle. So this is for RDT. So this basically helps with, when you're grinding beans, this helps prevent a lot of clumping and things like that, and static electricity. And we got a decent funnel. This is my new favorite funnel. I have an old funnel. It's not as good, and the reason why you want a good funnel is, so here's how it goes. It goes on here when you're dosing, but this doesn't have any ridges on it. So I don't know if you can see that. I'm not going to get a ring around it. So my old dosing funnel, it went on the inside of the basket. So when I pulled it out, I saw a big ring around here. So having this decent basket, it's pretty awesome because it doesn't create that little ring. So put that there, put the little one. We have a ton of baskets here. I'm using decent baskets. They're very well made, actually. I think they're right up there with VST, maybe even a little better. So I'm going to use 18 grams. Oh yeah, and if you don't have a funnel, you can make your own with a plastic cup. I mean, it works the same way. It's just, yeah, you just cut it to size. And if you don't have acupuncture needles for your WD-T tool, these are acupuncture needles, $6 on Amazon. No, I think eBay. But you can use you can make a ghetto version of it with a paper clip. It doesn't work nearly as well as the thin needles, but it'll still work. All right. I always use a drop or two of organic liquid stevia because I got a sweet tooth. And just a drop, you know. This is my $10 Amazon scale. Super effective, super cheap. It's kind of funny, I have a really nice setup here, but a $10 scale. So maybe I'll get a nice one day. But this is super accurate, so I'm not... And then I got a ton of these little bean sellers. I just got these. I'm going to put a link below for these. These are like 20 bucks. They're like a knockoff of the Weber bean sellers. But these are 20 bucks on Amazon. So I dose them to like 18.5 grams into an 18-gram basket. So that's just one less step I have to worry about. And today's coffee is my favorite Giant Steps. It's called Giant Steps from Blue Bottle. And this makes a really nice cocoa toasted marshmallow graham cracker. Essentially, Giant Steps, this blend, tastes like a s'more in your mouth. S'mores. Really good coffee. And yeah, so this was a gift, a Blue Bottle subscription. So when I don't roast my own coffee, normally it's Blue Bottle, pretty much. So I think that's everything I need. Basically what I first do is I kind of dial in my niche grinder here. It's kind of hidden back there. So I'm going to put in the beans, 18.5 grams. Put this away so we don't break it. And if we want, we can spray a little bit. You really don't need a lot. People clog up their grinders really fast. Oh, and I forgot to show this tamper off. This is a decent tamper set. I got a whole bunch of baskets with the tamper. Really, what's genius about this is it's super ergonomic. I mean, it fits my hand perfectly. You know, I'm really into ergonomics. And it has a spring mechanism in here. And this is a 15-pound spring, and it's just a perfect auto-leveling, auto-tamping device. It fits perfectly in there, and you just boom. I mean, there's just nothing about this is complicated. Tamping is not, people always ask me about tamping. Tamping is not your issue, probably. It's probably your beans. But you just go boom, boom, done. You know, so once you get a good tamper, you can never go back. And I have a leveling tool. So this is a leveling tool, but I haven't been using it. This kind of levels it out, and then you can tamp on this side. But honestly, you don't really need it. Not if you're doing everything. Funnel on here. And then with this machine, you have to heat it up. So you can see the red here. When this red goes around the whole ring and it turns green, that means it's good to go. So you can see in real time how fast this is. And in the meantime, I'm going to pick a few presets that I might want. My favorite is Londonium. So Londonium is probably my tablet is Bluetooth connected to the device. Look, it's ready already. So it takes about maybe 3 minutes. I think I turned it on earlier, which is why it was faster than normal. But it is really, it's heating on demand. So there's no boiler, there's no there's no temperature surfing. It's just on and ready to go. I mean, that's why I love this. The downsides is this doesn't have you can't steam and brew at the same time. It's either or. So that's the only downside with this machine that I could think of is you can't do two things at the same time, but it doesn't really matter at home. I'm not a coffee shop. So we're gonna pick Londonium, and all right, so here we go. I'm just gonna kind of show you if I can. I just kind of move the portafilter around. Try to make it as even as possible. It doesn't actually. Some people say, oh, it's niche zero grinder, so it doesn't, it doesn't hold grinds. It actually does a little bit. So create like a little a cupping motion, and the little bits of grinds left will come in the bottom. And then you can turn it back on and do it one more time. And now it's really a niche zero grinder. Basically, you're going to go like in a little circle motion. You can kind of just rake the top a little bit if you want. And kind of go like any clumps you see, kind of just break them up back and forth. Try to make it kind of range. Then what you do, after you WDT or puck rake, depending on how deep you go, is you just kind of go like that. Nope, we're not on a flat surface. So it's pretty flat. Now, if you want, you can get that distribution tool, or you could even it out even more here. You really don't need much, trust me. See? Very even. Tamp. You can't even see that. Boom. I mean, you could twist it if you want, but. And then the extra bits, I just kind of do that. I mean, that's pretty darn good, right? So let's come over to the machine now. This is me, Oh, we got 7 people. All right. We'll put this in the portafilter head. This handle right here is just to give you some leverage. The machine is very lightweight, so you just kind of bloop, bloop, like that. Let me know if you guys can see it. I think we're good. So all we gotta do is we picked our profile on the tablet, we put our cup under, we push the start button, and there's a little reflective piece of metal right here, just like a Slayer machine, so you can kind of see the shot extracting. That's what I'm looking at. Here's the data in real time. Yeah. Oh yeah. Oh, it looks like we got a little drip. Probably got to clean the gasket. And you can see right here. This is real-time data here. Pressure, flow, temperature. And we're stopping right around 41 grams. I should have stopped maybe a gram or two early. But so here's the cool thing. If you really like this, you can save this. You can save the results of this. So it actually looks pretty darn good. So if I want, I could save it. At the end of the day, none of this matters. The only thing that matters is how does your coffee taste. But we're gonna have this with some, Okay, so what I'm gonna do is put 100 grams of milk in here. Can you see this? 100 grams. It's not a lot. This is what you want to see. So I'm just barely submersing it. I'm going to push the steam button and it's going to go for 18 seconds. Trying to create that whirlwind. It doesn't look great. It looks a little thick. But you spin it and tap the bubbles out and spin it. Let's see this. All right, so I tilt the cup this way and I pour in. Normally when I'm doing this, the cup is a lot higher to my face. But so my latte art probably isn't great. It's kind of a deformed heart. But that's your basic, that's what I'm drinking most of the time. It's a little bit extra here. And yeah. Oh. Uh-huh. Yeah. There's the graham cracker flavor. It's like, it has a really natural chocolate flavor. I mean, that's just a perfect latte. My favorite lattes are the ones that are like milk chocolate, and they have this sort of, you know, it's just like a milkshake, like really thick and milk chocolatey. Those are my favorite types of roasts. But yeah, you certainly don't need all this machinery to get a good latte. I was using a Barista Express for years. This just makes it easier, more replicatable. I can figure out what I'm doing right, what I'm doing wrong with data. So you don't need a fancy machine. You should get a niche though. The niche is like $600-700 for the price. It's a great grinder. I wish it was flatper, but you can't complain. For 600 bucks, it can do basically everything. So if you guys have any questions, let me know. Again, I'm going to put everything in the description below. Peace.